So this video is for those, just to give hope to the hopeless. You know, you're probably going through this whole single life and it's draining and it's exhausting. Very sweaty. And it's annoying. And life tends to just literally flip upside down when you least expect it. Like myself, I know sometimes when people say that it sounds very cliche, but it's very true, because during this time I was content. I had been, you know, in the whole dibbling and dabbling in the whole dating phase, I would say for like 3 years or so, also kind of healing and kind of figuring out myself and what I like from what I don't like. And at that point I was just like, okay, life is literally probably it's not gonna happen how I expected it to happen. So I figured I was gonna be alone for a lot longer, figured I wasn't gonna be having kids for a while, and then I went to Trinidad. Okay.
So what's the question?
The stage is yours, how we met.
Okay.
And you have to talk slow too for the people to understand you.
How we met.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Coming into the cool island breeze, carnival. Think about the festivities, Trinidad. The number one experience that you can ever go to partake in carnival, which is the number one location. That's Trinidad. That's where I'm from. How we met? It was exactly on February 2019, 28th. I have this event that I tend to go to year in, year out, depending on my work schedule, because their ambience is literally top notch. Their food, top notch. Beach house.
And you get to enjoy the food, by the way.
So, but this was me coming from a promotional group. I tend to go to these different events to learn, to realize what I could take back or what I have been missing as not only as a promoter but as a patron. So when I go, I tend to partake in everything, you know, see how it's going. Anyhow, long story short, on this particular day, mind you, I'm a drinker, and I tend to partake in pure white Hennessy Black, you name it, whichever Hennessy that you would want to drink at this event, you would get it. So outside of that, I tend to consider myself a lone ranger sometimes, because when I go in these type of events, I don't really go with a crew. Most of the time it might be my uncle, which is Uncle Nigel, or probably just one or two persons, but the crowd doesn't necessarily be that heavy. So most of the time I tend to be by myself. With that being said, we have a mutual friend, which is Shandy from America. Shandy, that I would say she was the ultimate plug. She my god sister and my brother. So they were real good with respect to my brother, DJ Elon. He tends to travel and play for different audience. And one of the audience that he got to put his blueprint on was Uber Soccer Cruise. So you get to greet different people from different locations, and he's a very energetic guy as well. He has an excellent polarity, so no matter what, you would be drawn to him for whatever reason, right? So with that being said, is that I was able to meet Shandy, and well, obviously we have our god sister, so that is normal. I never met Misa, so Shandy being the plug, she's very influential. So she used to partake in Trinidad or different Caribbean carnivals over the years. So that, however, Trinidad is one of her to-do lists, regardless of what. So it's that people who are close to her, who she probably influenced, she would say, hey, Trinidad carnival, be going here, you know, get your bags packed. So she would write your itinerary, she would tell how much money you need to spend, the clothes you need to wear, the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it just so happened that this particular event was one of her events that is on her to-do list. Beach house. So as I mentioned, I mind my own business, you know, going through. Being honest, I was wear size 11, 12, but at that time I was wearing size 8, tight like a tight shoes. What? So, you know, just plain anyway. So at that time I got to meet Chandy, everybody hug up, so she introduced me to a couple of friends who she brought to Trinidad for the first time to actually experience this whole festivity. So with that being said, I met a couple of them thing, and I saw this young, beautiful, vibrant lady dancing like if she here in cha-cha-cha. Right? She had on a yellow dress, nice little slippers, sandals kind of vibe, you know. And you know, she moving side to side. Now in my mind, I was like, no offense, is that we know Caribbean people have rhythm. Whereas with respect to New Yorkers, is that you all have rhythm, however, it have a beat missing, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. It's like we know it's 1 2, but you tend to add the 1 2 3, and then you know. However, she was moving smooth, like if she have some sort of Caribbean influence in her. Anyhow, we hug, hi, nice to meet you. Thing cordial, no scene. I went back from a couple of drinks. Thing now again. Me being a lone ranger, I was rolling by myself. I was like, you know, I would go back across. When I do go back across, for some reason, I was that at this moment, I felt like I was in a movie. No, I saw her the first time. No, second time actually seeing her. But I saw like this beam, a light on her. It's like I literally saw no one else in the dance. So I don't know if I was high, it was probably too high, but it's like I seeing this light on this young lady. And she moving, man. I was like, you know what? Our Trinidad, we have a way. Well, I'm from South, so we have a way when we're going to engage in a dance or flex. You know, it would come up to the young lady, you know, and then it would give them a little leg. When they give them the leg, you would know, well, all right, they're kind of inside now. So I didn't know I'm driven and I get the leg and I realized, all right, she didn't move, she did. So I'm like, all right, you know, I'm gonna engage. When I engage, and we start to dance, at that moment, I was like, my words to her at that point was, ma'am, I need your credentials. She's like, what? I was like, I need your credentials. I said, before we leave here, I need your credentials. So I pull out my phone. Now, again, it's normal scene, you know, she probably just feeling the vibe, you know. So because this is the first time she comes to Trinidad, so she's learning. You know, so she didn't want to be rude. I probably could have get the digits on that little petty vibes, you know. Get the number, boom. I said, right. I feel accomplished now, so it doesn't see. Now, the person I am is that once it is we meet and greet, is that I would try my best to say, here we are, like guys, we safe thing. So we kind of started the text, probably not immediately because everybody, well, for me it was kind of high, but it's like it had the message, whereas let me know another reaching safe, right? I remember reaching home, well, all right, probably the day or the next day after. I was like, mommy, I meet this young lady here now, man, and I say, I need your credentials, ma'am, just so mom laugh. Now that was the, you know, exciting part of it. Outside of that is that based on my location, coming from a promotional background and from two entities, which is Generation Angola and Animex Promotion, is that we tend to have our own products for San Fernando. Now, where they will reside at the time is Port of Spain. So most of their festivities and everything that they would partake in was in the Port of Spain location. However, me, being a South boy, we tend to try our utmost best to bring everything that it have to Port of Spain to San Fernando. So with that being said, I was real cocky, I would say. At that time, all I tend to see is my product. So it's like I try my utmost best for her to come down San Fernando. I was like, what? So as that literally I was trying to learn her list to know what she partaking in, to know, all right, you could come down here. So it's that I was like, you know, here we're going on. You're playing Juve, alright, no problem. Here we're going on. Well, I have this for you to play. I was like, Juve between this to this, that time thing. She let me know she's not really a heavy drinker. So she's very much aware of, alright, what's going on. I says, here we're going on. Also, she will based on how she's on author, she's like a sponge no matter what environment she tends to go to. So with that being said, she was trying to document the entire thing now. And I applaud that because it was not halfway documentary. Because it's that, yes, you tend to experience Port of Spain, but you can also experience San Fernando because we tend to offer the same thing as well. You know, probably it may not be on a larger scale, but you know, it's that more or less we tend to bring the same thing, right? So with that being said, I was trying my utmost best to kind of fit in my entity into it with respect to the Juve, with respect to the midnight, with respect to the pretty mass, because we also offer pretty mass as well. So with that being said, I was trying to see where I can fit this puzzle. So after that, you know, still learning, she's like, well, here what's going on? She's like, she's not too sure because again, she probably thinking San Fernando is probably right there, but really it's somewhat of a little distance because, you know, she wasn't driving. She could drive, but again, you would have need transportation to go from point A to point B. With that being said, however, she was still lenient to say, well, here what's going on? Even if it is that don't come, could you just make videos of, send me certain clippings of the things that you all tend to do in San Fernando, so that at the time, so like Carnival, that was Carnival Tuesday, which was at that time that was for beach house, so that our chain of events would have been Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the week after, because we have the pool long. So that at that time I was like, alright, so yeah, what's going on? Now I didn't do my best to document that because I am heavily influenced on the ground, so that I wouldn't really have the time to say, well, alright, I'm taking this time to document it, but I tried just a little. So when we was on the road, probably tape it Sunday afternoon. She didn't get anything for Juve, she didn't get anything for Monday night, she didn't get anything Tuesday. She probably had, and well, at the time, schedule, I had to go back to it. And that was our prime time story. Now, me in my mind is that now meeting Lisa at the time is that I thinking, you know, started trying to get her groove back, you know, but I also know that she had the energy that I felt at the party was like, she's an extremely hard worker, so is that she's just coming to have a fantastic time to enjoy what Trinidad has to offer, and me being part of the Trinidad culture, Trinidad, and I'm thinking, you know, I may have probably been one of those to enjoy it as well too. Outside of that, is that I think it was a mutual feeling with respect to, okay, well, when she goes back to New York, it's done, literally, because at that junction is that Carnival itself is a spirit. So is that I know the conversation that we are having during the few days, probably if it's 5 days, if so much, was more or less for the festivities that were taking place. Nothing to know who are you, who am I, what we stand for, likes, dislikes, all the 9 yards. So is that at that junction is like, well, alright, well, I don't know if it is I'm gonna see her, thing, whatever, you know. It's cool scene because again, close to family with God sister, you know. So it's like, alright, that was it. But the conversation somewhat increased tremendously. The time she was about to leave. Excuse me. And from there, right, Disney Channel, yes.
Disney Channel.
I'm telling you, because I mean it have the toss up in the Disney Channel. It have the toss up that
for sure.
Probably Trina next video that I can take a deep dive into the pros and the cons, but I could say that this was already written that we didn't even realize that it was just 2 pawns just waiting to be played.
Yeah, I feel like it's all about, sometimes you can find your true love in the person that you're meant to be with, but or there might be more than one, you know, not to say that it's the case for me, but if, you know, something happens and you guys go your separate ways, but crossing paths with that person in that lifetime, I feel like is not always as easy. And but we were able to kind of cross paths during a very hectic time because Carnival is a lot. I recommend everyone to at least experience it one time in their life, but at least once in their life. And Eric would say every year. But that was something that I wanted to experience, and I partied more that time than I probably ever partied in my life. But I realized that I couldn't just be sitting around waiting for someone to come. Not that I was looking for one at that time, because most times you feel like people are there just to have a good time. They might have a little one night hookup or something like that. Not me. I was there to live my best life, dance, just enjoy music, and I was hoping to be able to go to the beach, but there wasn't even time for that. So it's like it was literally non-stop partying. And even with us, I didn't really expect it to go anywhere, because I figured that it just wasn't gonna work. It was just like, okay, what are truly your intentions? Just to like hook up for a night and then that's it?
That's it, yeah.
But afterwards, you know, we kept in contact. I like that he did reach out and always checked up on me every night. That could have been a part of the plan as well, but I was like, you know, this is really nice. You know, he's checking up every night. We didn't really have much time to link up during that time.
Yeah, we didn't
at all, because it was just literally back to back, non-stop. We had, you know, party events that we had to attend to throughout the day. It could be like 2 to 3 for the day. You know, making sure we got our costume, trying to eat. We barely, you know, ate and stuff like that. So, but even afterwards, we kept in contact, and you know, the conversations were good, and you know, I felt a form of stimulation just from conversation, and that was really important to me, and for him as well. So, and that's just where it just kind of took off.